a woman who fought her way out of prison, a man who can't escape the life he was born into, and a love story built entirely on crime. Rockstar Games has never made a GTA like this. For the first time in the franchise's entire history, GTA 6 is built around a relationship. Two people whose fates are locked together by love, desperation, and a single score that goes catastrophically wrong. Today, I'm breaking down every confirmed character in GTA 6, who they are, what they want, how they connect, and what their stories tell us about how this game is actually going to play out. This is the full character Bible. Let's get into it. Before we break down each character, I want to set the stage, because GTA 6's storytelling approach is a genuine departure from anything Rockstar has done before. GTA 5 split its narrative across three protagonists, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Three separate worlds, three separate tones. It was ambitious, but sometimes felt fragmented. You'd spend an hour with one character and completely lose the thread of another. GTA 6 throws that formula out entirely. This game is built around one relationship, two people, Jason and Lucia. And Rockstar has described it as a story of two halves of the same soul, caught in a conspiracy that spirals across the entire state of Leonida after a simple job goes wrong. That's not just a different structure. That's a completely different emotional ambition. Closer to Red Dead Redemption 2's focus than GTA 5's sprawling ensemble. And the supporting cast? 9 characters have been officially confirmed by Rockstar. Every single one of them is connected to either Jason or Lucia, and together they paint a picture of Vice City's criminal underworld that is richer and more layered than anything we've seen in GTA before. Let's meet them, starting with the one who starts the whole story. Lucia CAMINOS. Let's start with the history being made here. Lucia is the first major, non-optional female protagonist with a voice actress in a mainline Grand Theft Auto game. Ever. In 30 years of this franchise, this is a first. And Rockstar didn't make her iconic just to check a box. She is one of the most compelling characters they've ever written. Here's what we know, directly from Rockstar. Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk. Life has been coming at her swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in the Leonida Penitentiary. Sheer luck got her out. So let's unpack that. Lucia grew up in Liberty City, that's GTA's New York. She was not born into Leonida. She arrived there. She fought for her family, and that fight landed her in prison. The game opens with Lucia already incarcerated. We see her in the first trailer, prison uniform, parole meeting, social worker. And then she gets out. Through sheer luck, Rockstar says, which tells us there's a story behind her release that we haven't been told yet. What does she do after prison? She doesn't go straight. Her official description literally says, only smart moves from here, and her definition of smart moves is more sophisticated crime. She's not a villain. She's a survivor. A woman who grew up fighting, got punished for fighting, and came out more determined than ever. And Rockstar says, more than anything, Lucia wants the good life her mom has dreamed of since their days in Liberty City. That's the emotional core of her character. She's not doing this for greed. She's doing this for the life that was always out of reach. And then she meets Jason. And everything changes for better and worse. In the trailers, we see Lucia training in a boxing gym, riding a motorcycle, partying in clubs, carrying stacks of cash, and planning robberies with Jason. She is active in every scene. Not a sidekick, not support. She is a protagonist in every sense of the word. The community has speculated her voice actress is Manielle Perez, based on voice matching and casting call analysis. Rockstar hasn't confirmed it, but the evidence is strong. Lucia CAMINOS is going to be one of the most talked about characters in gaming history. Mark my words. Jason DUVAL. While Lucia is defined by purpose, Jason is defined by drift. And that contrast is what makes their relationship so compelling. Rockstar's official description. Jason wants an easy life, but things just keep getting harder. Jason grew up around grifters and crooks. After a stint in the army trying to shake off his troubled teens, he found himself in the Keys doing what he knows best, working for local drug runners. So Jason is, at the start of the story, a small-time criminal in the Leonida Keys. He's working for Brian Heder, who we'll get to in a minute, living rent-free in a beachside property in exchange for doing Brian's dirty work. Shakedowns, collection runs, the kind of work that pays in free rent and home-cooked cocktails. Jason is not an action hero. He is not a mastermind. He is a man with skills, military training, weapons experience, street knowledge, who has never had the right opportunity or the right partner to use them properly. And then Lucia walks back into his life after prison. Rockstar's description closes with one of the best lines of any character bio I've ever read. Meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to him. Jason knows how he'd like it to turn out, but right now, it's hard to tell. That's not the description of a GTA protagonist. That's the description of a man in a love story that he knows is dangerous and can't walk away from. His military background is interesting. We see him in trailer footage shooting with both eyes open, which is a trained marksman technique. Jason is GTA's first confirmed military background protagonist. He knows weapons, tactics, and discipline, but chose the criminal life instead of using those skills anywhere constructive. The community has speculated his voice actor is Dylan Scher, also referenced as Dylan Rourke. Again, unconfirmed, but fans have done impressive voice-matching work. Jason and Lucia together form GTA's Bonnie and Clyde. And just like the real Bonnie and Clyde, the story of how it ends is probably going to hurt. Now we get into the supporting cast. And Brian Heder is where the story actually begins. Rockstar describes Brian as a drug runner from the golden age of smuggling in the Keys. He operates Brian's Boat Works and Marina, a classic front business for maritime drug trafficking. Brian is an old man in a profession where most people die young. He has survived decades in the criminal world by keeping his hands clean and letting other people do the risky work, including Jason. He lets Jason live in his property rent-free. In exchange, Jason does his shakedowns. That's the arrangement we see at the start of trailer 2, Brian telling Jason, "Just go get me my checks." And Jason complying. Brian is not a villain in the traditional sense. He's a mentor figure, the kind of old-school criminal who has wisdom and resources but no longer wants to be in the field. His third wife, Lori, appears to be fully aware of his activities. He is the first domino. The easy score that goes wrong, whatever it is, almost certainly starts with Brian's operation. And the conspiracy that Jason and Lucia get caught in? It probably begins right here at the boatyard. Every GTA story needs a Lester. A paranoid, stay-at-home tech guy who everyone underestimates. In GTA 6, that character is Cal Hampton. Rockstar's description, Cal feels safest hanging at home, snooping on Coast Guard comms with a few beers and some private browser tabs open. Cal is at the low tide of America and happy there. He's Jason's friend. He's also an associate of Brian Heder. He's a conspiracy theorist who monitors Coast Guard channels, which, in the world of Keys drug smuggling, is extremely useful. Cal is going to be this game's information broker. He won't go into the field. He won't take risks. But he'll know things, and Jason and Lucia are going to need what he knows. The private browser tabs detail is very GTA. It's simultaneously a joke and character detail. This is a guy who does not trust the government, trusts his own paranoia above all else, and is probably more right than wrong about the state of the world. Boobie is one of the most interesting characters in the GTA 6 confirmed cast because he represents something GTA rarely portrays, a criminal who actually made it out. Rockstar's words, Boobie is a local Vice City legend, one of the few to transform his time in the streets into a legitimate empire-spanning real estate, a strip club, and a recording studio. His strip club is the Jack of Hearts. He also runs Only Raw Records with DRE'QUAN Priest. But here's what makes Boobie compelling. He's all smiles until it's time to talk business. That one line tells you everything. This man has a public face and a private face, and crossing from one to the other is not something you want to do accidentally. He's positioned as one of Vice City's most powerful figures, which means Jason and Lucia are inevitably going to need something from him, or owe him something they can't pay back. This is where GTA 6 gets really interesting, because 2 of the 9 confirmed characters are from the music industry, and they're deeply entangled with the criminal world. DRE'QUAN Priest is described as more of a hustler than a gangster. He dealt drugs on the streets to fund his real dream, breaking into music. He books acts for Boobie Strip Club, and has just signed Real Dimez to Only Raw Records. Real Dimez, Baylux, and Roxy are a rap duo who've been friends since high school. Rockstar's description is perfect. Girls with the savvy to turn their time shaking down local dealers into cold, hard cash via spicy rap tracks and relentless social media presence. They had a hit with local rapper DWNPLY. Then 5 years of trouble wrecked their momentum. Now they're trying to claw back their fame through Only Raw Records. What this tells us about the game. GTA 6 is going to satirize social media culture, influencer fame, and the music industry just as hard as it satirizes everything else. Real Dimez are literally described as having a relentless social media presence. This is Rockstar mocking modern celebrity culture through these characters. And the fact that they're connected to Boobie Ike's criminal empire? Their music careers are funded by dirty money. That's a story thread waiting to unravel. And then there's Raul. Rockstar's description: a seasoned bank robber always on the hunt for talent, ready to take the risks that bring the biggest rewards. Raul's recklessness raises the stakes with every score. Sooner or later, his crew will have to double down or pull their chips from the table. Raul is the heist guy. We literally see him in trailer 2, apparently recruiting Jason and Lucia for a robbery. He is charming, confident, and extremely dangerous. That last line from Rockstar, double down or pull their chips from a table, reads like a foreshadowing of the game's third act. At some point, Jason and Lucia are going to have to make a choice. Keep escalating, or walk away. And in GTA, nobody ever walks away. Okay, let's step back and look at the full picture. 9 characters, 2 protagonists, 1 state, 1 easy score that goes wrong. Here's my read on how this story actually unfolds, based on everything Rockstar has confirmed. Jason is working for Heder in the Keys. He meets or reconnects with Lucia after she gets out of prison. They decide to do a job together, something simple. Maybe for Raul, maybe for Brian, maybe their own plan. It goes wrong, and now they owe someone powerful. Someone in Vice City. Maybe Boobie Ike. Maybe someone we haven't met yet. To pay off that debt, or escape it, they get pulled deeper and deeper into the criminal ecosystem of Leonida. Small jobs turn into bigger jobs. Vice City jobs. And the conspiracy that Rockstar mentioned, the one that spans the whole state, grows around them. Meanwhile, DRE'QUAN, Real Dimez, and the music world are woven in because Vice City's criminal money flows through the entertainment industry. Clean it through a record label. Clean it through real estate. Boobie, I figured that out years ago. Hampton is the guy back home, monitoring, warning, feeding information. Raul is the escalation. Every time the stakes need to go higher, Raul raises them. And Jason and Lucia? They're the 2 people at the center of all of it, trying to get out, trying to get enough to finally live the life they both want, and falling deeper in love while falling deeper into chaos. That is a GTA story, but it is also genuinely a great story. Period.